mess up a little bit. I had to turn it all on before I could switch it off.
So we're switching chords here. Parker's taking it back apart for some reason. I know you're everybody's wanting volume, but it's off on purpose.
Continue singing this morning with your name.
More not that far away. And so, just to remind you, Easter Sunday is April 16th. And on Easter Sunday, we'll have our sunrise service at 7. We'll have breakfast at 8. We'll have salt talks for the adults while the kids have their resurrection celebration and egg hunt. And then at 10 o'clock, the kids will present It All Happened in the City, which is a follow-up to the Christmas program, It All Happened in the Country. And everybody knows how great It All Happened in the Country was, so we encourage you to be here for It All Happened in the City and see what happens. All right. For the past 6 weeks, we've been talking about the servant's call. The fact that Jesus needs us to be his hands and his feet. To go in this world and make a difference where we live. That's important. To serve. And everybody needs to find a place where you can serve and be that servant that God needs you to be. So I want to challenge you still, even though that series is over, the initial challenges for the next 3 months, and so I'm still challenging you, go and find that person or persons that you can serve, that you can do something for in the name of Christ. And in that way share the love of Jesus. And maybe that person is not a Christian, and you can win them to Christ because of your service. That's important. That's what serving is all about. So we want to shift gears. So we're finished with that series, and I've been thinking, well, Easter's not that far away, and so we need to, what I want to do from now to Easter is follow Jesus in his trek to Jerusalem and to the crucifixion and the resurrection. So that's where we're going to be going the next several weeks, so everybody knows what we're doing. So today we're starting in Matthew chapter 17. Matthew chapter 17. And we're talking about today the preeminence of the King. Now, Matthew, remember, Matthew. The theme of the book of Matthew is that the King has come. The King has come. All right? The purpose of this book is to prove that Jesus is indeed the Messiah, the Savior, the Son of God. Now we're in chapter 17, but I want to back up for a minute and think about chapter 16. Because in these 2 chapters, there are 2 great confessions. Now, we know the verse we typically think of as the great confession. We know Jesus took his disciples and he went to Caesarea Philippi. And at Caesarea Philippi, he asked this question, who do men say that I am? Now it's important to understand the backdrop in which he's asking this question. Because at Caesarea Philippi, the mountains around Caesarea Philippi contained a temple to Tiberius Caesar. It contained a temple to Philip, who was also in the royal family, thus Caesarea Philippi, Caesar, Philip. You get the whole idea there. This is the place where it was thought to be the birthplace of Pan. And that pagan god. And there was a fountain, a spring that came out of a cave. That's where they would go to worship Pan. But in the side of that mountain, there were carved out little shells where it had various other gods. And it's at this backdrop that Jesus asked that question, who do men say that I am? And we all know the answer. Some said John the Baptist, some said Elijah, some said one of the prophets. And Jesus asked, but who do you say that I am? And we know Peter's famous statement, you are the Christ, the Son of the living God. If Peter ever said anything right, he got that one right. Okay? So, we want to understand this backdrop. But I want to ask this question. Did Peter really understand what he just said? Did he really understand you are the Christ, the Son of the living God? And I'm going to suggest to you that he didn't fully understand what he said. And I'm going to prove it from the next great confession, which is in chapter 17. Let's read it together. 6 days later, Jesus took with him Philip and James and John his brother, and led them up on a high mountain by themselves. And he was transfigured before them, and his face shone like the sun, and his garments became as white as light. And behold, Moses and Elijah appeared to them, talking with him. And Peter said to Jesus, Lord, it is good for us to be here. If you wish, I will make 3 tabernacles here, one for you, one for Moses, one for Elijah. And while he was speaking, a bright cloud overshadowed them, and behold, a voice out of the cloud said, This is my beloved Son, with whom I am well pleased. Listen to him. And when the disciples heard this, they fell face down to the ground and were terrified. And Jesus came to them and touched them and said, Get up, and do not be afraid. And lifting up their eyes, they saw no one except Jesus himself alone. Or if you're reading from the King James or the English Standard or Young's literal translation, it says they saw no one except Jesus only. Jesus only. See, Jesus took Peter, James, and John, and they went up a high mountain. Now, the Bible doesn't name the mountain, but thinking about, they were in the area of Caesarea Philippi, talking about a high mountain. The highest mountain that would be close to Caesarea Philippi would be Mount Hermon. Mount Hermon was about 10,000 feet. And so they go to the top of the mountain. Right? Peter, James, and John. Why did they go up on the mountain? Why? Well, Luke 9:28, which tells us the same story, says that Jesus went on the mountain to pray. Jesus went on the mountain to pray. If you study all of the harmonies in the Gospels of this one event, while Jesus went on the mountain to pray, the disciples were having a little issue. Peter, James, and John were having a little issue. They were sleeping. Remember another time they were sleeping and Jesus needed them to pray? This is the beginning of Jesus really needing them to pray. He went to the mountain to pray because of what was coming. He was going to try to tell them and explain to them that he had to go to Jerusalem, that he had to suffer, that he had to die, and the third day he'd be raised again. He wanted them to understand that and grasp that. They were sleeping. They didn't get it. They didn't quite understand what he needed them to understand. And then it says there in the text, as he went up on this mountain, verse 2, he was transfigured before them. Now, what on earth does that mean, he was transfigured? Well, it means his face shone like the sun, and his garments became white like light. Go back to Revelation chapter 1 and get that picture John saw of Jesus standing among the lampstands, and you might have an idea of what they actually saw. But there's Jesus now. It's this white light. And notice, it didn't come from anywhere else. It came from inside Jesus. Remember, Jesus was fully God and fully man at the same time. What they saw on the outside most of the time was the man. But God was in there. And here is this place where they see God come out of the body of Jesus, and they're looking at the Son of God. John 1:14 says, "The Word became flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld His glory, the glory of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth." And right now they are really seeing that. It's what they're seeing. The word transfigured really is metamorpho, the word we get metamorphosis from. It is the idea of a caterpillar going in a cocoon and coming out as a beautiful butterfly. So the man Jesus transformed or transfigured or metamorphoses into the image of God. And they're never staring there, seeing that. Now that transformation should be the goal of every Christian. 1 John 3:2 said, "Beloved, now we're children of God, and it has not appeared as yet what we will be. We know that when He appears, we will be like Him, because we will see Him as He is." We want that glorified body. We want to be like Christ. And if we live faithfully on this earth, we walk by the Spirit, as we talked about in our Salt Talk this morning, we will be transformed into His likeness when He appears. So here He is. He's on this mountain. And now He's transfigured. And they're seeing this bright white light that looks like God. And all of a sudden Jesus is accompanied by visitors. 2 visitors, to be exact. Moses and Elijah. Moses and Elijah. 2 interesting characters in the Bible. One of them never died. He just went to heaven. One of them died, but his body wasn't here very long. And the Scripture says that nobody knows where his body went. Right? Nobody knows. That's because God took it rather quickly, I think. These 2 characters are tremendously important for a number of reasons. Moses was the mediator of the law. Moses was the mediator between God and the children of Israel. He gave the law that God gave to them. But he pleaded the case of the children of Israel to God. Moses talked to God face to face. That's not said about other people in the Bible. Moses talked to God face to face. Elijah represents the prophets, the greatest of the prophets. He's the one that sets the stage for everything that happens in the end of the Old Testament, or the prophet section of the Bible. And so here you've got this great mediator, this go-between between God and Israel, and then you've got this great prophet that spoke God's word to the people of Israel. And they're standing there now talking to Jesus. They represent the entire Old Testament. Moses represents the law, Elijah representing the prophets. And so they're standing there, which tells me that the whole Old Testament is about Jesus. All right? And that's the point of it, the purpose of it. Maybe we don't understand a lot of things that go there, but that's the purpose. The point is to Jesus. And so he goes up on the mountain, and these 2 that represent all of the Old Testament and all the Old Testament saints come to comfort Jesus and pray with Jesus. To comfort Jesus and pray with Jesus. Now he took 3 disciples for that reason. They were sleeping. So God sent Moses and Elijah to do that very thing. Now, as they're there, Peter gets this brilliant idea. Let's build 3 tabernacles. We'll build one that Jesus will build one, and Moses will build one to Elijah. Now, what did he mean by tabernacles? It's probably a reference to the Feast of Tabernacles, because that's about to happen. In the Feast of Tabernacles, people remembered leaving Egypt. And so they were to go out of their homes, and they were to build, a term we used to use down in Eastern Carolina, brush arbors. They would take poles, they would make sort of a lean-to, and then they'd cover it with branches to protect them from the sun and the weather. And for a week, they would live in those tabernacles, or brush arbors, or lean-tos, however you want to refer to it, to remember that wilderness wandering period. But Peter is the one who said, "You are the Christ, the Son of the living God." And now all of a sudden he sees Moses and Elijah standing beside Jesus, and he says, "Well, let's build 3 tabernacles." See, I don't think Jesus or Peter quite understood what he said to Jesus in chapter 16. Why did he say, let's build 3 tabernacles? Well, Mark 9:6 says because he was afraid, or he was terrified. He was scared to death in what he was seeing. Because if Jesus is shining with that white, bright light as God, well, Moses and Elijah, they had to be distinct, recognizable people if they named them. But what did they look like? Remember, they don't live here on this earth anymore. They're living in heaven, so their bodies must have been somewhat different, but at least recognizable. He wants to honor all 3. And so he missed the point. He said something because he wanted to say something. And here's a good point to take away from that. If you don't know what to say, don't say it. You know, just don't say anything. Just if you don't know what to say. Peter didn't know what to say. He was just so honored that he was in this place. He was so scared. He was so terrified. He had to say something, and he said the wrong thing. Let's build 3 tabernacles. See, we don't want to live under the law, do we? We don't want to live under that Old Testament system, because Jesus brought something much better. Moses brought law. Jesus brings grace and truth. I'll take grace and truth over the law. That's important. And so a 3rd visitor shows up on the mountain. It's a cloud. A bright cloud. J.W. McGarvey suggests in his commentary that the brightness of this cloud and the fear which it produced suggests that it was the Shekinah cloud of glory. Remember under that Old Testament system? Remember when Moses led the children of Israel out of Egypt? The Shekinah cloud led them wherever they went. And when they stopped and set up camp, the Shekinah cloud stood over the tabernacle. It represented the very presence of God. The Shekinah cloud hadn't been seen for a while. But here it is on the Mount of Transfiguration. When Moses and Elijah appear, and the cloud appears, and get the picture, the cloud appears, Jesus and Moses and Elijah kind of disappear for a minute. They're covered in the cloud. And the cloud makes a statement of great confession. This is my son. Listen to him. God made it plain. Don't listen to Moses. Don't listen to Elijah. Listen to Jesus. Listen to Jesus. Which brings us to the final thought. Jesus only. See, when the cloud came And they heard the voice. Peter, James, and John fell on their knees and buried their faces. They were scared to death to be in the presence of God. They were totally afraid. Sometimes it would be good if we had a little bit of that respect. A little bit of that fear. Not fear to be afraid, but to stand in the presence of God, we ought to be filled with awe. And there they were in the very presence of God, and they fell on their knees and buried their faces. It's good for us to do that some. To humble ourselves and realize where we need to be. But as they're down on the ground, and they heard the voice of God speak, "This is my son, listen to him." They're there all bent over, cuddled up, with their faces buried, and Jesus simply walks over, touches them, and says, "Come on, get up, get up." And the scripture says, when they lifted their eyes, they saw Jesus only. Jesus. Oh, how we need to see Jesus only. You know, I don't know what voices are competing for your attention. Okay, and for teenagers, it's going to be different than adults, probably. Teenagers, it's going to be things going on in school, your friends. For adults, it may be your coworkers, it may be your job. There's always the voice of money hollering at us, you know. We need money, 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 money. And I know it takes money to live in this world, but that's not the purpose of life. Okay? There are a lot of voices hollering and screaming for our attention. And the devil knows each one of us. He knows where our weaknesses are. He knows which voice to put in our heads to try to get our attention. There are a lot of voices screaming at us. But there's only one we need to listen to. Jesus. Only Jesus. There's the voices of false religion. There's the voices of false doctrine. There's the voices of false messiahs. How do we know which one's right? How do we know? Well, Jesus made that plain for us. In John 14:6, Jesus said, "I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes to the Father but by me." I don't think it gets any simpler than that. The voices in this world are hollering, you know, we need to tolerate one another. We need to be accepting of other people's religions. Jesus said, "I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes to the Father by me." Yes, treat everybody with respect. Okay? Don't take me wrong when I'm saying treat everybody with respect. But try to win everybody to Jesus. Because that's the only way to heaven. Peter said that in Acts 4:12. There is no other name given under heaven whereby we must be saved. Muhammad can't do it. Buddha can't do it. Confucius can't do it. Only Jesus. Only Jesus. And we need to understand, only Jesus. In Ephesians 4:5, it tells us there is one Lord, one faith, one baptism. That's it. There's one. Not a bunch, one. One Lord, one faith, one baptism. Hebrews 12:2 says this. Let us fix our eyes on Jesus, the author and perfecter of our faith. Jesus. Jesus.